All right, guys, welcome back to Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming. I'm Ryan Wolf, joined again by Daniel Diamato, and we have Nicholas Carpenter and Shawn Carroll playing it in the last round of our modern F&M tonight. And we have Jeskai Stuff versus Allies.
Let me tell you something about this Allies deck. It is hyper aggressive.
It
and
is.
It can win very, very fast. Looks like that friend met a spell snare from Shawn. And looks like, I think Shawn took 2 there too. He's at 18, I believe.
Looks like it says 19.
Okay, so maybe it's just 1. It must be
All
a
right,
0.
so we'll figure that out. We kind of jumped back into this really, really quickly. So I don't know the exact stuff that Shawn Carroll has in his deck. He told me some pretty spicy stuff. He said he's playing like spell quellers.
He is playing spell quellers. I think it's just a good old Jeskai control brew.
Okay. So a little bit of just Jeskai good stuff and just all around brews.
Absolutely.
So. And looks like just a mountain after the Serum Visions. Hitting land drops
There's a
somewhere.
cavern. That's going to be very solid, I'm sure.
And
Calling allies.
Some other ally.
Yeah, Shawn, we got
Shawn's-
a reader on this one. We're going to see what we got.
Oh yeah, 2-0 and 8. Yeah, he's going real strong for the 2-0 and 8. All right, everything should be back up to normal. We were using that 8 there, Paul, to mark the impact.
Yeah.
So, like we said, this has got a lot of hyper aggressive stuff. Before,
It's going to be the lightning bolt. And,
right, and this Hot of Free Braid is just gonna do all
crash in for 2.
2 or 3. I don't know.
It is 2.
Okay.
I believe it starts out as a 0-1.
It does that. You're right. It does start off as a 0-1, and then
See what Shawn's got there is a Scalding Tarn.
yep. And,
And I think we got a Spell Queller in hand and an Electrolyze. So not a
Yep.
bad hand to have set
but the
up.
Electrolyze does nothing to a 2-3.
Oh, 2-3s are very, very good.
The cool thing about Spell Queller here is that it gets around the cavern, since it doesn't actually counter.
Does get around the cavern. I don't know if Nicholas has a way of getting rid of Spell Queller either.
Not in the main deck. I think he does play some paths and bolts after sideboard.
I can see that.
But outside of that, it's not too much stuff. It's your traditional tribal deck.
Right.
I'm going to play all these things and turn things sideways. So this may be a bait spell here. And he's like, okay, what does this do? That's the ally land, ally encampment, guys. That allows him to tap those lands for any colored mana that would be, and can use that mana only to spend on allies. Or it taps for colorless. The other thing it does is you can tap 4 and sacrifice it to return an ally from the battlefield to your hand.
Oh, I think from the graveyard to the battlefield, right?
No, from the battlefield to your hand.
It's an interesting mechanic. Shawn's going to go all the way down to 4.
It basically just kind of saves it from a removal spell.
I think we are going to see a Spell
Spell
Queller.
Queller. Yeah, I don't know what that green ally does.
But apparently it's threatening enough to meet a Spell Queller.
Right, exactly. I don't know what it does. It's too scary. I had to read it, so I'm going to Spell Queller.
There it is.
Does not counter. It just exiles the spell until Spell Queller leaves the battlefield. So now it's a pure race here between Spell Queller and this 2-3. Shawn's already at 14.
Yep. And this 2-3's got to come into the red zone here soon.
And here comes another guy that's going to be a 3-4. Now it's going to make this guy a 3-4.
Yep.
Oh, and it's the Anthem guy.
Oh, well,
So-
that's not good.
So Shawn's going to take 4.
Yeah. Allies proven that strength in numbers is necessary.
If I did the math correctly, that's what that guy is.
Yep. Shawn is at, he hasn't updated the die.
That's okay. Shawn's probably just trying to figure out how he's going to win here now. So Shawn does have a 4th land, but I don't think he has a cryptic or anything like that, so he needs to find a Wrath of God or something. Yeah, the reason why I know that the ally thing bounces a creature back from the hand because I played like a red-white aggro allies deck back in Standard, and It's still technically viable, I suppose.
He's shocked in the steam vents.
Yep. So he may have a cryptic here.
I once played Shaman Tribal in a
Shaman.
modern tournament.
Did you borrow that from
Nope.
Pat?
That's when Death Right Shaman was legal in modern.
Okay.
The original Shaman.
I don't know about original, but
The only Shaman.
the only shaman that matters.
Yes. The Planeswalker Shaman.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at what Shawn can do here. I mean, obviously he can't counter because Nicholas is most likely going to use a counter souls. But Shawn most likely is going to be able to tap down the team and draw a card if he has Cryptic Command, or he's just bluffing and he's going to have nothing. But he does have Electrolyze, we know that much, and combined with like a Spell Snare or something, or maybe...
He could probably kill that 3/4 with the Electrolyze and blocking with Spell
Right,
Queller.
and just the 3/4 is going to come into the red zone, and we're going to see what Shawn has, and there is a Cryptic.
So, actually, what Shawn could do here is just bounce and draw.
I like bouncing and drawing.
So do I. I think that's a very strong play here for Paul. Or for Shawn, excuse me. Not Paul, because I'm talking to Paul. Hi, Paul.
And Shawn's thinking hard about this one.
Right.
He's just got to take it.
He's
Go down
just-
to 4.
5.
Oh, 5. No, yeah. Well, he's
Because it's only when it attacks that the
right.
red
It's
one.
until in a turn it gets the Anthem effect.
Right. So now Shawn's probably thinking about...
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to...
Not as good now, but, I mean, he is going to bounce the Hot of Free Blade and draw a card.
Correct. So it makes his Bolt and his Electrolyze a little bit easier now.
So he can't even really use Supreme Verdict here because, like...
Right.
Nicholas just gets his
Right,
ally back.
Exactly, and that's the key card for the ally deck is basically being... And even the Electrolyze is a lot worse.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a Johnny Vengeance.
So... He's just going to let it die instead of trying to save it.
Queller may turn sideways.
So Shawn goes back up to 8 because of Johnny Vengeant. Doing the Johnny Vengeant things, it's what it does. And actually, he probably leaves it back because there are a lot of hasting creatures here that come out of the Allies deck.
Nicholas dealing the first damage to himself, put himself to 19.
Right. So I think what Shawn's going to do, he's gonna leave back the Spell Queller, and then hopefully have Nick tap the Cavern.
Yeah.
And then he's going to tap it down for the rest of the game.
I think I saw a Torrential Gearhulk in Shawn's hand.
Well...
And that'd be pretty good.
He's still 1 away.
Yes, but it'd be pretty good targeting a Cryptic Command.
Correct. I agree. That
does not seem like fair magic.
It's slightly fair-ish. It costs 6 mana.
No, it's blue.
Oh, you're right. That is also a true statement here that blue magic is not fair.
If you weren't here earlier, we confirmed that Ice Age is Miracles.
No, we didn't.
You can check that out on the previous rounds.
All right, so here comes that green thing again. We still don't know what it is. I don't know my allies very well. I didn't play a whole lot of allies.
Oh, there's a Bushwhacker.
Oh, well then, I think Shawn's just dead.
Yeah, that's a GG. We're going to pack it up here, I think. That's going to be game 1.
Well, he has a Spell Queller to block, so
Oh,
he may not be completely dead.
But I think you just go straight to Shawn's face here, though, right? You don't worry about the Johnny?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I think that the Spell Queller has to block, right?
And it's got to block the Free Blade.
Correct.
I think, yep, there you go.
And then he's going to take 4?
I think that's 5.
Right.
Get that guy
We'll
back.
find out exactly how much damage that was.
See if a Johnny Vengeance can save him. My guess is no.
So a Johnny Vengeance...
Gearhulk can save him if he has the land.
Right. It has to be untapped and...
Gearhulk into Cryptic is what he needs. Oh,
There it is.
There's the island.
All right, so now he can tap down that... He's going to be able to tap down the...
He tapped down team.
Well, I'm saying he could tap down the Cavern of Souls with the Johnny.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and put Shawn down to 3 because I think that's what he's at.
Okay, so yeah, tapped on the Cavern here. So he can flash out Gearhulk, counter with Cryptic, and tap the team.
Correct. Oh, so actually he's just tapping down the Hada Free Wraith.
Well, that guy is big.
So, let's see exactly what...
I guess because Shawn will have a blocker to be able to, maybe if he wants to let the attack come through, he could bounce one of the allies, kill one of the allies, and then draw a card, or...
All right, so Shawn quickly flashes the Torrential Gearhulk to the front of his hand. He's like, yep, I've got him.
We will see if that is true.
All right, so looks like Nick's like, I'm going to combat.
There's the
I
Gearhulk.
am now going to flash in this Gearhulk. Target Cryptic Command. Cryptic Command, tap down your team and draw a card?
I think so. I think that's the play. It could be tap your team, bounce the free blade, too.
That's also a possibility. The free blade is getting just ridiculously big over and over and over again.
Right.
Shawn desperately needs to find...
Well, you know, he's got the free blade locked, I think, with the Johnny.
Right.
So I don't think he cares about Cavern anymore. I think he's more concerned with getting...
So you definitely don't bounce back the Bushwhacker. That's for sure. So you probably bounce back the...
He could go to 1 here, bouncing one of the green guys, blocking, like letting him move to attacks. And go...
No, I think he's still going to tap down the team. I think that's the first move that he's doing. He's trying to decide on the second mode. Even drawing, I think, is fine.
He could tap team bounce a Johnny to be able to use... Oh, he bounce tapped. I was going to say, if he could bounce a Johnny and be able to use its Helix the next turn again, but...
Well, so he has access to the Helix again already, but now what does Shawn do? Now he has to, like, rely on...
Well, you have to Helix, I think, the Bushwhacker. Well, he has Electrolyze.
Well, he has Electrolyze.
And Path.
And Path now. So
well, this is good.
So you tap down the 4/4, I guess that's what that is.
Yep.
You keep that locked down. You Electrolyze, face, and...
I don't think you do Electrolyze yet. I think you go to Path the other green guy, let Nicholas cast the Hot Free Blade, and Electrolyze taking out both of them in response to
the trigger. Okay, that makes sense. And then you have Torrential Gearhulk to sit back and...
Right.
Okay, and I think Shawn's just probably trying to work out...
Gearhulk can't swing here.
I think it's better to just leave it back, because if our math is correct, Shawn's actually at 3.
Yes.
All right, so 3 mana. Yep. So he's actually just going to Electrolyze now.
What does he want to do, though?
So 1 and 1. So he's actually going to return the ally back to his hand because, well, you know,
yeah.
Bushwhacker's an ally.
Bushwhacker is indeed a goblin ally.
See, now that the Torrential Gearhulk is not safe to... So Shawn's actually at 2. And you know that he has the free blade in... Well... Also, Shawn actually has Cryptic again in his hand.
Well, I mean, I think Shawn needs to swing.
No, because he just dies.
To what? He has Cryptic.
But he only has 3 mana. Because he Electrolyzed. So when the Hot Flea Blade comes down, it'll get a counter, and then Bushwhacker will come down, give it haste, and plus 1/+1.
So he's ulting the Ajani here, and he's going to just take care of the other guy.
Yeah. So now Nick's trying to decide if he wants to sacrifice the other ally encampment to keep it safe. Now what that does do, it restricts Nick down to what he can do, to just the 2 spells, but it saves him some life. Maybe, unless he returns it. If he returns it, then he doesn't get the life. And I think that's what Nick's trying to decide if he wants to do.
Well, Shawn's fine if he returns it, and I think that's where he would swing with the Gearhulk at that point.
Right. But he still doesn't crack back.
He has a Path to Exile.
But he's still going to play 2 spells and then kill him.
Oh, you're talking about the surging.
Yeah, because you still surge that Bushwhacker. Because Free Blade only costs 1.
Right.
So he's going to let that happen. So Shawn goes back up to 5. Another land. So he's going to save the cavern, obviously. So does the the Bushwhacker doesn't get
Right.
countered. I think Nick's showing a little bit of nerves here as far as being his first time playing on camera for us. Both of these players doing really, really well this evening, going 2-1 here. Is that Valor's stance?
That is Valor's stance.
No, I think that's a creature. It looks like it's got power and toughness.
Oh, no, that is a creature.
But that would be hilarious.
Valor's stance would take care of Gearholt. And here comes the goblin.
No, I think actually maybe now, because I think that basically... Well,
that's lethal, because Shawn's still at 2. We have him at 5.
He should be at 5 because he ultimately he used the Ajani
that's right,
ability.
That's right. There's the Bushwhacker.
Yep.
Well, no, I think it's fine because Shawn has to block the big guy.
Right.
And it's going to trigger it. That's exactly lethal. But no, he does have Path to Exile, though.
All right, so he's
Path
going
the
to
big
path
guy.
the big guy. Block the... there.
Block there.
That's fine. And then take 2.
Go to 3. He lives to see another day. Now with the Cryptic, Shawn should start swinging sideways.
Right, because now he can keep it tapped down for at least one more turn.
Right.
There may be a response here. I don't know what Nicholas could have.
Be sweet if you had life become immense.
Oh, that would be the sweetest. So Shawn's at 3. And back to Shawn's turn we go. That's another fetch.
That doesn't seem very good. Yeah.
Actually, doesn't seem the worst here. Drawing in land is fine because it looks like he has another Ajani in his hand. Yeah, so he's fine. So what he can do is he can play a Johnny, tap down.
I think you just kill that to get life.
Okay, yep. So that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna go up to 6.
And then you swing the Gearholt.
I don't know how much Shawn's preserving his life total at the moment.
Oh, he just cut his deck.
I think they're trying to figure out exactly
Why? That works.
Okay, so he's like, okay, well, I messed up, so he's just gonna go fetch now. Okay. So it looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication there on shuffling and cutting his own deck. So he needs to go get another white source so he has double white to have access to Supreme Verdict or to Wrath of God. And even Sphinx's Wrath.
Yes.
Which I just saw him flash in the deck, so I think he's trying to find maybe an untapped white source. Well, no, he just goes for the Sacred Foundry. Now, Shawn is bluffing either a remand, a cryptic, or not cryptic command, excuse me, a mana leak.
Right.
There's a few other things that he could be
I think
bluffing.
this Gearholt needs to turn sideways, though.
He's just going to pass the turn? You just want to see Gearholt turn sideways.
I mean, I think he can end this game quicker if he does.
I think Shawn's being a little bit safer.
Free Blade.
Yep. Followed by... This is the green creature that he bounced back to his hand,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Oh,
Nope.
no. Oh.
Oh.
The Fire Mantle, Guild Mage. That's the one that gives it menace. It can't attack right now, but it gives your allies menace.
Well, the Ajani's going to take care of one of these creatures.
It can't right now,
Well,
actually.
it's going to tick up.
But it doesn't tap it.
Well, he's got Cryptic anyways, so.
Right.
Gearholt needs to turn sideways. Because Nicholas should be at 12 right now. And this attack will put him to 6. Turn, then even a Bolt Snap Bolt could kill him.
So I think he's going to lock down the cavern. Yep. Perfect. It's exactly what you want to do. Pass the turn.
Swing Gear Hulk. Come on, Shawn.
Shawn doesn't want to lose. Shawn's playing very conservative here. He just doesn't want to die to just some random creature.
Do we know what time they have in the round?
Did I start the timer? Nope, I did not start the timer.
That's okay.
So that was me.
We'll figure it out after this.
They probably have like closer to like 30 minutes or so.
Right.
So we'll just throw 30 on the clock and. That's roughly what they have. Okay, so he's going to bounce it back, replay it.
Well, the cavern untapped.
He had another cavern in his hand.
Oh, that's nice.
So he bought back the fire mantle.
Right.
To give his guys that played the other cavern, made it uncounterable.
Right.
And now he's like, okay, now I'm going to have this guy that has menace.
Seems solid.
So now he has a trigger.
Shawn does have his cryptic, though.
Yep, now he has to use it because the creatures have menace.
And I think you just bounce the free blade, right? You don't want to tap it down.
I think you counter draw. Or I think you tap draw. Tap your team, draw a card. Right? Yep. Because now it's all about card advantage.
And the Gear Hulk turn it sideways.
It's not going to happen, Dan. Serum Visions, redraw. Scry 2.
Oh.
The Helix, you want that.
Yeah.
For sure. You need... So, he has to get rid of the Fire Mantle. Like, I think you just have to.
And keep the free blade tapped.
I personally probably would have actually just killed the Fire Mantle.
He's got Colonnade now. So I think this Gear Hulk should be turning sideways.
But any ally here makes it to where, like, he has to double block it.
He can, though.
Not if he turns the Gear Hulk sideways.
But see, now, this game would be over, though. If he had attacked 3 turns I told him, Nick would be at 0.
I don't think it would be. And then here comes the life-linking Fire Mantle that has menace.
Well, that's going to be met by a Colonnade and a Gear Hulk.
Yep. Shawn will definitely block this. No ifs, ands, or buts. I will double block. We now gained 2 more life for Nick. Back to the top. Keep that lockdown. Lightning Helix the Lantern Scout. Keep you locked down. Now I think he's safe to do this. To start turning it sideways. And there's the Lightning Helix. So Shawn's going to go up to 8. Nick should be at 20. Okay, so they're correcting that now. And then let's see if Shawn actually decides to start turning it sideways. I think he was safe this turn. Yeah, there it is.
I mean, I would have swung 10 with the Colonnade, too.
I don't think he had another white source.
Yeah, he's got the
The Hollow Fountain, you're right. He does. Maybe he wants to leave up an option of showing that he has Path or...
Sure.
And I don't know what that one is either, but things got bigger.
But like, yeah, if he swings Colonnade there, he just ticks down on a Johnny, kills the 1 threat, and wins.
Is that a... I think he has an Aetherling in his hand.
Oh. Well, that's a card I haven't seen in a while.
I think that may be an Aetherling. Oh, no, Snapcaster.
Okay, I was like...
Oh, man.
Aetherling.
It looked like it had a lot of text on the box. The art...
As they usually do.
The artwork looked kind of odd there for a second.
This game's just about over then. I think that.
Yeah, and Shawn's just now he knows he's in full control here. Because now next turn is in fact a lethal attack.
Yes.
He can also just lightning helix with
another free blade joins the battlefield.
Yep. All these free blades get bigger. Other allies get bigger. Snapcaster Mage.
Cryptic. Tap your team.
Tap. Draw.
And that's going to do it.
Tap your team. Draw a card. And then Nick just counted it up real quick.
Yep.
So, game 1 goes to Shawn. And kind of surprised, actually. Nick had such a great start, and Shawn kind of stumbled a little bit at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, it all comes down to your draws.
Right. Nick's going to get all the bad cards out, put good cards in. That's how you sideboard, right?
Yeah, it's about all you can do. I don't know if there's an ally that makes your spells uncounterable, but I doubt it because that would be unfair. But we can wait and see what these cards.
So they already kind of have that card. It's called Cavern Souls.
Right.
He also plays 4 Aether Vials. He didn't see a vial that game. So that kind of also makes your allies uncounterable. And it gets around Spell Queller.
It does get around Spell Queller. We'll wait and see. We'll see if what we can do.
So Shawn said, he's like, every game that I've drawn Spell Queller, I've won. He drew a Spell Queller that game. He won. So let's see if Shawn draws a Spell Queller here, or if Nick's able to kind of get around seeing Spell Queller. Out of the Jeskai deck, Shawn's actually probably going to shave down on some of his counter spells. He may leave in his spell snares.
Snares are the best counters, I think, in the deck for him.
I think he's going to get rid of a couple of the others that just probably aren't that good, like Mana Leak and that sort of stuff. He's going to leave the Bird, leave the Path, probably bring in Supreme Verdict and Wrath of God.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Maybe get rid of the... Oh, also Anger of the Gods. He also has access to Anger of the Gods. Oh, he also looks like he's getting rid of the remands. That also makes sense. So, could be pretty interesting on what exactly happens here in this next game. I still feel like Nick is favored in this matchup.
I think so too, with how aggressive it is. But I mean, Shawn is Shawn, and he knows how to pile his control decks.
Yeah, typically Shawn is our reanimator in every format player, but when he finds a control deck that he likes, he typically does a lot better than he does with reanimator. So, we shall see what happens in this next game. We're guessing about that they have about 22 minutes left. We don't really know, but
we'll just roll with it.
The players did actually draw prior to the match, to kind of like we did earlier with the prize support that we were talking about. And now we're just kind of going along for the ride. They agreed to be on camera just so we had another match to show you guys. So they're still shuffling up. While they're doing that, we're going to remind you guys once again about coming out to our charity event tomorrow. That starts at noon.
It does start at noon. I'm excited
so
to
on
play
top,
it.
On top of the Modern event, we also have a Commander event that's giving away door prizes.
And Standard Showdown at 5 o'clock.
And Standard Showdown at 5 o'clock. I forgot about that.
That is a free event, by the way, for you Standard nuts out there. Come out, play, and get a chance at one of those very cool booster packs that have been proven to open a lot of value.
Yeah, they've actually been really, really sweet. We've opened up one masterpiece already from ours. That was a Cinder Glade by Kazu Negri.
I've seen a Liliana. We've seen Emrakul.
Emrakul, like, there's been quite a bit of value just pulled out of these things.
So for those of you who don't know about these booster packs, what they are is they are 2 slots guaranteed to be a rare or a mythic rare from the current standard sets.
Except for
Oath
of the Gatewatch.
Oath of the Gatewatch was not included. Then they have a foil slot that could be a foil of anything of those cards. So all the way
Except for flips.
Except for flips. And that runs from common to mythic. So you can pull a foil mythic rare or planeswalker from these packs. Or one of the Masterpiece series or expeditions. As Ryan mentioned, we cracked a Cinder Glade. You could very well open a Mana Ball. Or
Mana Crypt.
Something I want that you can trade me. So,
Painter Servants that you could trade to me. Lotus Petals you could trade to me.
If it's unfair, I want it. Let's do that.
And Ancient Tombs.
Tombs are cool.
You could trade those to me as well.
Right,
so it looks like Nicholas had the mulligan down to 6. Shawn kept 7.
Shawn 7 looks really good.
Really, really good. Lots of removal. A couple early land drops. Some deck manipulation, which is basically what every control deck wants. They want that early interaction plus early deck manipulation.
Right.
Can't really see what Nick's got it going on.
He's thinking hard about the hand, but not. I think he wants to ship it.
But if you're thinking that hard about it, you may be thinking like, well, what do I have in my hand that makes take away one of those cards and put it with one worse card? Is
it worth it?
Is it worth keeping?
Maybe I hope they're not waiting for us.
Maybe they were letting them know. Okay, so.
Well, we kind of indirectly told them they were slow playing. We're sorry for that. That was unintentional.
So
Nick probably does not like us right now.
So Nick's going ahead to his next. He's going to mulligan down to 5, possibly. It looks like Shawn's hand looks even better now.
I mean, yeah, it's
when the aggro deck is mulliganing, and you're the control deck, and you keep 7.
That Snapcaster in Shawn's hand is just going to win the game with turning sideways.
Possibly. I've seen Ambush Viper get there.
Yeah, maybe Nick boarded into Storm.
That would be the greatest, actually, ever.
I don't know if you can make it work, but, there's always hope.
It takes, like, all 15 slots to sideboard in the Storm.
Yes, but then you have 45 slots in your deck. That makes no sense.
So, actually, what I thought about doing was, like, Saheeli Rai, right?
Mm-hmm.
The blue-red combo that I have already, and then just sideboarding straight into Storm. Because I could sideboard out the 15 cards that don't do anything.
Right.
And, like...
I'm thinking about running the Madcap experiment sideboard plan for Ad Nauseam tomorrow.
Spicy.
Infect typically can't beat a Platinum Angel, so...
Yeah, that's true. They can't.
May try that one out. I'm undecided right now. I have a undying hate for Infect. I do not like it. I think it's stupid. If they were to make it a poison counter or 15, I'd be okay with it.
So I was talking with a few other people about Infect bannings. Looks like Nick's got a couple of land drops here. That's
not a bad find.
Not bad. So it looks like he's going to go ahead and go all the way down to 16 here. What I was saying, though, is that a lot of people don't know like what one card you would ban out of Infect, right?
So I've been on this argument, and they're talking about cards banning in Modern. I don't think Probe should be banned in Modern, but I do think Become Immense should be banned. I think Become Immense enables Death Shadow's aggro and Infect to be the overbearing, like, final kill blow, more so I guess in the Death Shadows aggro deck.
Right.
But people keep arguing on the fact that Probe is more relevant in both of them, and I can see that because Probe takes away life for aggro and Probe is a cantrip for Infect. And
right.
That's the aggro and haste guy.
The 1/1
turn sideways, and it's gonna be met by a lightning bolt.
And it just throws it in disgust into his graveyard. So Shawn's gonna go ahead and fetch.
So
Shock.
As our chat chimes in, they say ban all Phyrexian cards. I have heard this argument before on how anything with Phyrexian mana should be banned, just because of its unfairness and how it could be cast for free.
Right.
The only Phyrexian banned card we have currently is Birthing Pod. Now that one I really didn't. Birthing Pod. I didn't really agree with that too much.
Right.
I didn't think it was that much of a threat, but apparently the rest of the world did, because I think the current Abzan Company deck is better than the Birthing Pod deck.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I mean, think about just replace Collected Company with 4 copies of Birthing Pod.
I would much rather have that every day. I'd rather have Birthing Pod every day, because then I'm going turn 3 Finks to turn 4, Siege Rhino, then again to another Siege Rhino. Think about it
in this format that we have, in this meta that we have currently. You're dead at that point, right?
Maybe. I mean, you have a lot more access in the pod deck. So, actually, my thought on the for Infect to ban would be actually to go ahead and just ban Blighted Agent.
Blighted Agent is also one that I think should be on radar.
Like,
it's just
everything
it
else
really shuts down the deck more than I think Wizards wants if they get rid of it.
Right.
Because having access to 12 things with Infect is honestly, it seems like a lot, but it's not really that much.
Right. So
especially if you cut it to 8.
Well, so they would end up playing something else. They'd end up playing like Necropede.
Right.
Which
Viridian Corruptor probably see more main board play too and stuff along those lines.
But in order
I think you would also see Tainted Strike show up and there'd be like a bug infect and your Noble Hierarch would start going in for damage.
And then we may end up with a hybrid like Affinity Infect deck from there. So you're right. We wouldn't have the current meta if Pod was legal, Paul.
You know, I have a friend that has its own modern. It's called Pottern, and it's just modern, but Pod's legal. All other bannings stay the same.
So
I call mine Seething, because I want Seething Song in modern.
You know, I really want Seething Song too, just because I want to.
It doesn't even, but you know, it doesn't even break Stormwar. I think it just breaks more through the reach. It makes that deck a lot more oppressive.
It speeds that deck up by a lot of turns.
Right.
Which
man, that's gonna get met by Spellquell. And Nick's like, all right.
I think Nick's just. I think he's just throwing things down. He just knows. And Shawn's playing with his stuff in the front, and his lands in the front.
He is trying to tilt Nick. It is confirmed tilted.
He's actually doing what he's not supposed to by doing that. He's tilting me up here because he knows the rules.
I love it.
But we're in the last 4 rounds.
See, if I was on camera and I had the option, my library would be in the middle of the mat with my graveyard in the bottom right corner with my exile zone underneath my library.
Sounds like a dirty Yu-Gi-Oh player.
And then I would spread
that's
out.
what you sound like.
Yeah. If I really want to tilt him, my cards would face him.
Oh, I did like playing the Adrian Sullivan way before they basically banned that. Beat Shawn with a club.
Well, as we do encourage suggestions here in the chat booth, we cannot physically harm him. We can indirectly shame him by wagging
I'm not
finger.
saying that I can't beat him.
True.
Or that you can't beat. But somebody out there maybe.
You know where we are. We're Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming.
In Morgantown, West Virginia. Don't forget to visit our other 2 locations that we have in Clarksburg,
There's multiple
West Virginia,
locations of this place now. It's coming on the map.
And Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. So we've got lots of cool, interesting places to go play all your various needs. Actually, the same day that we are doing our Players' Championship, Major Harris from WVU fame is going to be signing autographs
awesome.
at the Clarksburg store. So if you guys can't make it out to here, don't forget to check out the Clarksburg store and maybe go meet Major Harris and get some stuff signed. A lot of his proceeds are going to the charity event as well.
Yes.
And then the other proceeds, well, you know, he's got to make some money doing something. So
I can't stress this enough how great this charity event is going to be tomorrow. It does not feel bad to go 0-5 at a charity event because you probably walked away with a Plane Chase Anthology because that's how karma works.
Yep.
And that just happens to be one of the things we're giving away tomorrow as a random door prize, a Plane Chase Anthology.
So here we go. Nick